Hello there, and welcome to part 10 of You're Being Shaped, which is a series of videos I'm doing on Vance Packard's The People Shapers. And in the last video I was talking about lobotomies given to children, because I was reading it from straight from the book, basically. Lobotomies given to children for being troublesome and hyperactive and things like that. And I was talking about ADHD and how it kind of fits into all of that. About school children being drugs, and this was in America, which is totally relevant today because it's still going on, isn't it? Probably even more. And there's been problems there. So and it talks about them giving them Ritalin and without the parents' consent, basically. So kind of early experiments going on there. Not much has changed really when it comes to America and things like that. Hey. Here we move on to transplanting or manufacturing memories, and it says that they could be memories can be transferred to one animal to another. They're talking about the experiments they were doing on simple animals, and then how it could be interspecies, where you can transfer memory from a different species. You can cross the species barrier. It talks about the brains of rats or mice that had been educated to shun darkness, and their brains were kind of made into were made into a soup and injected into hamsters, and then the hamsters soon began shunning darkness. So all these experiments done. And it says here, if it develops that memories can indeed be transferred or manufactured for humans, what would be the implications? Some science writers have envisioned injections replacing grammar school textbooks. That seems unlikely based on present knowledge. On the other hand, dictators might be more attracted to the possibility of supplying subjects with synthetic molecules that would make them fearful of the sound of a certain voice, or when performing a disapproving act. Dictators might very well wish to invest heavily on this technique, and looks like something out of a Brave New World there. And this section here, erasing memories and impeding learning, and it says here, electrical stimulation of the God, I can't pronounce it again. That part of the brain we discussed earlier in the previous videos. It also disrupts the memory storage process, as does the electroconvulsive shock. That was the part of the brain that's responsible for motivational behaviour and things like that. Amygdala, or amygdala nucleus, something like that. So we're talking about erasing memories and impeding learning, and it reads here, as for impeding learning from occurring in the first place, we are discovering that this is all too easy. One procedure is to continue the present global nutrition pattern, whereby millions of infants are severely undernourished before and after birth. You think of that, you think of third world countries, don't you? They are destined to spend their lives with stunted brains, shortage of protein in nutrients can be particularly damaging. A University of California team has estimated that the actual brain weight of a severely undernourished 4-year-old is 10% below normal. But ability to remember what has just been known remains impaired. Okay. So they're saying that permanently impairs them. And reading on here, In Huxley's Brave New World, menial labourers of the future were created before birth at the state people hatcheries. As noted, these labourers to be had their ration of oxygen cut while they were still fetuses. Semi-morons were guaranteed. Cutting back on protein would probably be just as effective. There we are. Well, people in third world countries are undernourished. They have. That's the same thing there, isn't it? Okay, for young and old alike, the ability to learn could probably be impeded, at least for a while, by adding a bit of calcium to the brain fluid. It could also be inhibited by drugs that slow down the synthesis of RNA and proteins in the brain. Right. Kind of connects to eugenics there as well, doesn't it? You know, and population control and all that. Third world countries and malnourishment and things like that. Okay, this section here, transmitters on humans, connecting to the identification ship there, I think. So it speaks about that. Attach tiny automatic radio transmitters on bodies, and then it goes on about tagging criminals, which has already happened, isn't it? People get on probation, they get tagged, and then they can be monitored, and then it talks about if they were connected to a feedback device like a computer where it's monitoring, say, their bodily function or brain waves, if they felt that the criminal was going to repeat an offence, commit a crime, a shot could be delivered to deter them. And I think that's what they was talking about there, like former sex offenders. It says a former sex offender could be picked up if sensors triggered a radio signal indicating that he was undergoing penile erection in an appropriate place, that kind of thing. So tracking devices and all of that. The bigger eye. This is going into the CCTV surveillance type thing, TV cameras and all of that. Yeah. Technology has permitted a great leap forward in visual surveillance. Even in George Orwell's 1984, citizens were safe from the omnipresent tele-eye if they were in darkened areas of their homes. Today, police have infrared light cameras that can take fairly good pictures in the dark. Yeah, so yeah, we're more in 1984 in many ways, aren't we? The Big Mouth, I think that's like a speakers that can either dictate to you or can, and I think they have that somewhere, maybe in London or somewhere like that. The Big Memory, and this is, here we are, yeah. The Big Memory, this same White House report proposed, so it's White House report, a wide nation system. It would store information from police and court records and health records in one great computerized memory bank. Apparently, information from the giant computer would flow back and forth between Washington and every corner of the country. Well, we're already there, aren't we, with that one? Yeah, computers run our money system, really, don't they? And lots of other things. There's loads of information about us, you know, that when we go around and we draw out money and things like that and have phone conversations, it's all monitored. But certainly your financial situation, system, and each individual is monitored. Tax for life, mentioned that with prisoners. It says here, some have suggested tattooing the universal identifier on each newborn baby's instep, but that is not necessary. Several congressmen sought in the mid-1970s to pass a law requiring that all school children be assigned a universal identifier. The identifier proposed was a social security number, so yeah, we're kind of kind of there with that one. But I made a note with a Google ID tattoo, because I'm sure Google came up with the idea of having like an identification chip tattoo on your body. It may appeal to some people, but not me. Push button buying in the living room. Well, we're there already with their smart TVs. Virtual bookstores or whatever. Ordering your food online and all of that. This great dream of TV advertisers is to find a way to clinch sales immediately, catch the prospect while he is relaxed in his own living room, perhaps a drink in the hand and all of that. Yeah, we're there already with that. The scientific seduction of children. Oh, this is advertising. Again, the TV is an effective one of doing that. Subliminal kind of advertising, subliminal messages in advertising and things like that. Slipping messages into our minds, again, subliminally. They did that, it said, in the late 50s. In cinemas, apparently, they would flash a picture that you can't see consciously, but subconsciously you can subliminally, and then it could be like, buy more Coca-Cola, and then you'll go and do it. And here we're moving on to lessons from animal husbandry, and this is the idea of sperm banks and things like that. In recent years, man has begun solving infertility problems, in part by taking advantage of technologies pioneered in animal husbandry. So we're going down the same route, freezing people's sperm and all of that. Sperm donors, artificial insemination and all that kind of thing. Okay, that was part 10, and let's continue this in part 11.